And hammerful.
No, you've been.
Oh man, no, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back, buddy.
Good idea, bad idea. We're in.
We're in. It's official. So yeah, you got to do
Good
it.
idea.
You got to have a good
Have a
idea,
restaurant.
bad idea.
Bad idea. Have a restaurant.
Classic.
That is fair on all accounts. That is fair on all accounts, man. No, but it's been good having you back, and we're not alone. I figured it's the last one of the year. You might as well go all out, yeah. You wanna. First off, do you want to introduce?
Oh yeah, I did bring my coffee. Do we have a
I'm sure in this whole building we got a Sharpie somewhere.
We'll sign it afterwards. But I even had the page already.
He does. He had it dogged. It's like, are you gonna have him sign it? And I walked.
All right. Wait, I'm terrible at pronouncing just because I'm a Southerner.
Okay.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Kareem El-Ghayesh.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. Which just okay. I also I try.
But you roll the
Kareem.
R on it, yeah?
El-Ghayesh.
Okay.
Yeah, Kareem.
El-Ghayesh.
Yeah, so it's a ra.
Don't say
But
it like
I
you've
have
been
been
in
in
Georgia.
Georgia my whole
But
life.
you did great.
I said don't say it like you've been there though. I was like, you roll that R.
It took me like 2 months
put a little bit
for.
to say my name right? Yeah, I know. We kept editing it out.
No, my buddy Barangay. Yeah. It took. Yeah, I was saying Barangay. Like for like the No, that's not it. Yeah.
Bengay? No, that's annoyment.
Yeah,
That's
but
annoyment.
yeah, the
Don't
rolling
put that one on
R.
there. I think it's foreigners. Foreigners
Yeah,
can always pronounce other foreigners'
Easier, yeah. We're
names.
used to the
It's just one of
letters.
those things.
Yeah, because they actually care about learning other languages, and we don't.
I think it's just the way the pronunciations, the letters, like they exist. Like in Spanish, it's easier for me to pronounce words just because all of the words and the letters are existing in Arabic.
Very true. Very true. Right on. Well, please
thank you very
introduce
much
yourself
for having me. I'm Kareem El-Ghayesh, or KG, of KG Barbecue from Austin, Texas, coming through Atlanta, and it was a privilege to be here with you all in this beautiful podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. Glad we can make it happen.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Glad the timing lined up.
Yeah.
Glad I pushed the
Always,
the
bro.
podcast
Always.
back from Saturday to Tuesday.
Do you guys do this weekly?
I appreciate it. Yeah, we drop it every week. Yeah, because there's always news in This Week in Barbecue. And with that being said, welcome to This Week in Barbecue, your barbecue-focused podcast that brings you both the good, the bad, and everything in between in the world of barbecue. I'm your host, Rasheed Philips, and filling that chair with the luscious beard, back again, ladies and gentlemen, your friend and mine, Mr.
Caller, Bryan Hull.
And back working the ones and twos, Mr.
Yeah,
You heard that,
the
no?
face you no longer
We got a
can
wonderful
see and the
guest
voice
here.
you can hear.
Extremely popular everywhere I go now. Where's Brian? Where's he? I'm here too. I
There's
showed up.
one thing anchoring every
just putting that out
podcast.
there, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The guy here, come on, guys. At least I'm consistent. Help me out. No, man, but appreciate you being here, brother. We've talked about you on the pod numerous times before, and as Brian happens to have
The Starships
a copy
Rising
of,
Stars.
Tell the fine folks.
So it's every 3 years kind of that they go to each city, right?
I think so. I don't know how long they've been doing Austin San Antonio region as one of the regions.
Right.
But yeah, they came through. They went to many restaurants and they hit me up again a few months after, and they said that we have some good news. You're going to be our rising star this year, and they decided to feature me, which is amazing. And I loved working with them. I loved talking to them and having them over. It's a big privilege. I feel like it's a huge privilege.
Yeah, it's one of those interviews where when you do it, they kind of like it's really in depth about your process. Yeah, like I think when they came to Atlanta, we sat down for about like 45 minutes, and that's usually not how long an interview goes. Mm-hmm. And then the photos they take are fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty badass. And you've got numerous accolades, not just that, but it was
No, it was Bon
it Smoke
Appetit.
Point for Eater.
Bon Appetit, the video, yeah.
Bon Appetit.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. that's first time actually visually seeing you, but seeing your work before, I was like, man, that's kind of dope, and I loved the lamb. I was like,
Exactly, yeah.
I was like, we're gonna be fast friends, man, because I can never get lamb to get the love that it deserves. I grew up on a farm in Jamaica. I love lamb. Like that lamb would be my spirit animal.
Back in 2019, when I was doing my first trip through Texas, one of my most memorable dishes was when he was popping. What was the market called?
Diaz Market.
Diaz Market. He was popping up at Diaz Market, and the lamb lollipop was one of the best things I ate that entire trip. So, yeah.
So, give the people a little background who are just hearing about you for now. Why is lamb like one of your favorites? Like your culture, your background. Why? Because obviously it's not prominent.
I always say like lamb. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't get the attention and the love it deserves here in the barbecue. But I'm from Cairo, Egypt, and I grew up in Cairo, and we eat a lot of lamb, a lot of goat. I wouldn't say they are the most popular. Still, beef is the most popular meat in Cairo, in Egypt. But lamb and goat are probably, they come second and third. But
I just had some curry goat yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I just made some curry goat
I love
yesterday.
goat, man. I think goat is one of the best meats. Like, if well executed, it might be the best flavor.
I think so. For me to go, it's back and forth between goat and lamb. Just a really good goat.
Yeah.
It's so good. I just wish it wasn't such a cultural shift type of thing. Like I wish you can go to the store and pick up 4 or 5 pounds of it the exact same way. But there may be a chance. I just think it just hasn't been popularized yet, because over the last decade,
I think
oxtail has become big. Everybody's now they're selling it at HEB and Kroger and Publix and packets now. I feel like there's still time for like other things for you to get different cuts of lamb outside. Like, hey, here's just a boneless shoulder.
I mean, if you think about
there's
it,
more
like
to the animal.
Historically,
Yeah,
brisket was
a throwaway.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a slave meat. You'd give it to the slaves. Like, well, we're not going to eat this. We'll take the steaks, the primes, the ribs, all that. But it was slave meat. Now you're charging 30, 40 bucks a pound for it, smoked and set. So
now it's everywhere.
yeah.
Like
It's
at
like $5.50. Almost $6. Yeah.
Is that HEB though, right?
Oh, gosh.
Or is that like it's saying? Okay, so
HEB, retail.
yeah, usually you can't find prime in a normal grocery store here. So like Costco or like our Publix or Kroger or Walmart, it's either Choice or Select.
Okay.
And really only Kroger and Walmart carry it. Normally, it's usually flats at like Publix. Flats were the predominant brisket here. Now the big box kind of wholesale retailers, that's where most of the people go who want a prime brisket. So Costco and Sam's both sell. Costco just got prime briskets back, like within the last like a month and a half.
It's been gone for at least 4 to 5 months.
Because if they can't buy it at a certain price, they just won't carry it.
Oh.
So
Because people won't buy it.
well, they have a threshold of where they won't sell it past.
Sure.
Yeah. So like Costco right now is like $4.50 a pound for prime, but it's most of theirs is unmarked prime, so you don't know the packer. Sam's is right at $5. But it's a mix, so sometimes they'll be Excel, sometimes they'll be Swift, IBP. If you're lucky, you'll get National Beef or Cab. But it's a mix. You don't know what you're going to get when you walk in.
Yeah.
And then it's also the stuff that the suppliers don't ship to like restaurants and stuff. So the sizing is going to be crazy. You'll walk in there and you'll see like a 18 to 24 pound brisket, and then you just don't know what to do with it. Yeah. Well, we had to cook a 24-pounder because that's what one came in, and the fat seam that bands like the decal was the worst I've ever seen in a brisket. Like it was actually disgusting. So like we ended up turning
like size or flavor or what?
Well, slice and flavor. Like it just was so thick it wouldn't have rendered out no matter what you did. Yeah. So I mean we cut around and used it for chopped and and chili because like it was something just we didn't want to serve as sliced.
Yeah, and I don't think people understand that. You know, we do as best we can when we trim, we prep, and we smoke it. But once you get to slice, then you really know, and you're just like, oh crap, this kind of sucks. From what are you gonna do with it? Well, push it to the side, make something out of it. What can you do? You got to get creative with these because these prices are staggering. Just everyday commodity, just use of meat prices. I'm like, how are people affording to live? Like this makes no sense. Chicken's gone up, pork's gone up, and the prices are going up, and the quality is failing. There's no marbling in anything. Everything tastes weird. I never got COVID, so I you know, it can't be like, oh, you got COVID, your taste was like, no, I never got COVID. Everything just doesn't taste like it did before all of this stuff happened.
What briskets do you use at the restaurant?
It's just concerning.
We use Creekstone.
You use Creekstone?
Yeah, we went through multiple briskets, but I still decided on to stick with Creekstone. I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs with every supplier I've worked with, but I think Creekstone has the least problems.
Yeah. I'm not wearing a hat or anything.
I was about to say, for the first time, you're not.
That's why he's just like smiling.
I mean, like,
all right, look at camera, freeze frame, and there we go. Let's send that in, Creekstone. Let's a pallet of briskets just automatically appearing.
They appeared yesterday. I received the shipment yesterday. The sizing's super consistent with Creekstone. That's what I found. Like the amount of trim you actually.
By the way, this is not sponsored by Creekstone, but if you want to make that happen, Creekstone, just go and slide in them DMs.
The amount of trim is very consistent too.
We'll
and they don't cheat like certain like sections. Yeah, they don't cheat the.
Put that fat flap on top and then vacuum. Like, really, guys? Really? Come on. You didn't? Okay. You've gotten that, or they'll do like, I hate when they do the horrible splits, cut you right down and sound like, what am I supposed to do with this?
On the vacuum seal.
No,
it's just,
the tomahawk.
It all looks perfect.
The tomahawk
but
too, like overhang, and like there's nothing you can do with it besides grind.
Yeah. The little things they do to skirt it, man. I'm telling you, I've popped a couple of cases of briskets, and you see that extra fat just sitting on top. You take it off, like, this wasn't even part of this brisket. You just had to make weight.
It's like a thing. Like before I started my food truck, I would go, like, if I have an event or whatever I'm doing, I would go to HEB and then I would select everything and I would be this annoying shopper. You know, I'd be like, well, I don't like any of these. Tell me what you got back. But now it's like you get everything.
No, that's good.
So I don't have the privilege of going and selecting the exact brisket that I want, but it's nice that now you have the upper hand. As all these vendors, they're trying to work with you, and whatever quality, you can just, like, what I do is just like, you know what, I'm not going to accept this one. Yeah,
like, you guys, I'm not signing for this. And they pick it up. No, I love it. And piggyback on that, let's go back a little. You said before you opened up the food truck and everything, what was the life before smoke? What was the life before?
I feel like I got reborn. It's like I have a new birthday. The first day I tried brisket.
There it is. There you go. I remember the first time I had Brian Furman's ribs. I told you, and I've helped him every year. I never see a sprinkle of crack on. I always miss, because I've watched the method. I've done the method, and I'm missing something. Like, at what phase does he sprinkle a little bit of crack? Because that's what he's putting on those ribs. Yeah. But so I know the feeling. I know the day I had barbecue that changed my life. But what got you into this?
It's been really over a 10-year journey now. I used to work in corporate finance. I lived in Cairo my entire life. I went to Cairo University. I studied business, and I loved marketing and advertising, and this is what I wanted to do for a living. After I graduated, I got a really nice job in corporate finance and banking, so I took it just because it's a good job. And I stayed there for 5 years, so I had this 5-year career from 2010 till 15. And on Memorial Day weekend of 2012, I had my first visit to the U.S. I came here to Cincinnati, Ohio, to see my uncle. Very random, yes.
Oh, okay.
And then my friend from Austin hit me up. I have an Egyptian friend living in Austin. He was like, oh, you're in the U.S., you should come down to Austin. I love it. So I just flew for the weekend. That's it. And I was like, I didn't know what I'm into. I didn't know much about Texas. Like, it's another state. I'm just going to see my friend. And I went down there, and he took me from the airport to Lee's barbecue.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
That's a good friend. That's a good friend. It's a dang good. Not only for the airport pickup ride, but chicken Rudy's. That's a good friend. Yes.
So my first bite of brisket was Rudy's, and I had no knowledge whatsoever about Texas barbecue, about this craft. To me, barbecue is grilling, hot and fast, charcoal, marinated meats, skewered, ground. I had my first bite, and I mean, the whole experience was mind-blowing. Just walking in, smelling all the smells, watching the greasy cutting board, and seeing all these cuts being sliced on the board, and then having my first bite was literally life-changing. And I asked for it again and again. I was like, I want more of this. So he took me to multiple places. I went back to Cairo from 2012 until 2016. All I was doing is trying my best to recreate barbecue at home. And the way that I did that was the only vessel I could find in Cairo was a Weber kettle. Lucky because one of the fancy grocery stores in Cairo had just gotten the Weber agency from the US. And they started selling Weber grills. So I went there and I got the Weber grill and I asked for a brisket. That was the biggest problem. Biggest challenge is finding briskets. Nobody ever does anything like that. Brisket is always ground, and the plate ribs, this whole section, always ground beef, because it's just not ground beef.
Yeah.
It's a big question mark. Like, what the hell are you gonna do with that? It's too tough. It's too fatty. Like, there's no way you can cook that. You just grind it because it has a perfect fat ratio. So I did. My first brisket went straight from the oven to the trash, as you all might know.
As they all do, yeah. We've all been shoe leather and hockey pucks.
I tried.
We've all been there. You end up looking at it, you're like, how did I do
If someone digs around, there's a picture of Reddit that I'm not very proud of a brisket, but they gotta find it.
We all have.
I'm not gonna say.
Smoke me gently. No, we've all had that brisket that we're just like, all right, let's take a machete to it and just put it in a crock pot and see if we can't bring some moisture back into a poor can of beans. I'm like, all right, we'll never talk about this ever again.
But and I just kept cooking, and things got expensive, so I started this thing in my house where I invite my friends on weekends, and I ask them to donate money. Bring your own drinks. I'll cook barbecue for you and just hang out. Yeah.
So your friends pay. See, that's where I messed up. They just
lucky with
just
friends.
eat and drink for free. That's what I got to put a tip jar at the front of the door. Like, what are those the coin slots that you used to put on bathrooms if you go to like Mexico or something? My bad.
Venmo, Cash App.
Everything. Gazelle, all of it.
That's the way you get better feedback on your food. If you have people pay. Because nobody's going to eat your free food.
Some people will.
Some people, they definitely will. They definitely will. But no, that's a good process. So you did that. You had the feed your buddies on the weekends, and then
like at this point, there was a lot of family and friends talking to me positively about this move, and most of them were actually kind of putting it down, quitting a stable job and leaving family, leaving friends, and
because coming from our immigrant culture, it's like, oh, you're leaving the good job. What are you doing? You already have the thing that they worked hard for.
So they're trying to live their life.
I know that
that's what I
conversation.
always tell people. Like, nobody is walking in your own shoes. Whatever you're doing, you should be proud of, and keep doing it, and don't proud of anyone. Because everybody's walking in their own path, and they're trying to live that through you, especially if it's your parents. And I know they all come from a great place. It's a place of love and appreciation. But if you have passion for something, you just gotta go do it, and that's what I did. And I finally decided that I'm gonna move to Texas and learn the craft from the pros and take it back to Cairo. And that was my initial idea. And I did that 2016. I moved here and I started working at Curlin Barbecue, which is a food truck that doesn't exist anymore. They do barbecue kolaches now, which was their specialty. Stopped their barbecue and just doing kolaches. It's great. You should check it out if you're ever in Austin. And then I fell in love with Austin. Like I was like, I'm here for 6 months only, and I moved there 3 months in. I'm like, man, I love this city. Like I love people. I love the scenes, the outdoors, the friendliness, the music. Like everything was. I instantly fell in love with Austin and Texas. I mean, there's a lot, the good things about Texas. The culture, like the southern.
Yeah, there's
culture. There's a lot of resemblance in southern culture and Middle Eastern. As far as like hospitality, warmness, friendliness, everybody gathers. Everybody.
Yeah.
It's all about family. It's all about food. It's all about you get together with people. So yeah, I mean, since then life has changed. I just kept working in and out from barbecue joints, and I went to culinary school, college, and I got some restaurant experience, and I got butchering experience, and I started teaching people how to cook steaks, how to cook briskets in their homes and in my home. Started doing private dinners, and we did this whole like private supper club thing that I started in Cairo, where that was during the pandemic, where things were kind of slowing down, and I was looking for a creative outlet. So I decided to open my dinner table on a weekly basis for a higher-end Egyptian dining. So I just invited 4 friends, and again, donation. I can't really be making money out of my kitchen. So I was like, you know what? Bring your drinks, bring your wine, sit down. I'll cook you a 5-course meal and pay whatever you think. And it got popular. I was like on Instagram every week, ads and like posting all of my food videos, people eating, people dining. I had a special playlist, Egyptian music. And then it was like from 4 people once a week, it went to 8 people twice a week. It was booked 5 to 6 weeks out. And that's when I started doing pop-ups again after the pandemic.
Right.
And I had a line for the first time after the pandemic and the supper club. I went back to my pop-ups at Diaz Market. That was the place I was supposed to open. And that was like the first time I ever have a line going around the block. That was a moment, big moment.
No, I love that. I know a guy that used to do some driveway parties like that too. He forgets about some of his friends sometimes, but I know most of the time he's a pretty solid dude.
Too busy.
You would have known, Brian. You would have known.
I actually texted like when Eater released their 14 hottest new restaurants in Atlanta, and we made the list. I texted my friends who let me borrow their driveway, and I said I wouldn't be here without you guys, and I thanked them for just donating their space.
Yes.
Yeah, because I would set up in their driveway, and then one of my friends had this big porch, and we'd set up tables there, and everybody would just kind of dine right there and hang out. Yeah. Yeah, and again, ask for donations so I could pay for the next cook, because you can't legally sell. Yeah.
Sell it.
Like out of a driveway.
I would cook it. I would cook it on my smoker at my house, then load up everything in like the Carlisle and Cambro things, and then just slice it. Have everybody go through the line, and then I would make we'd just throw all 3 sides, every meat I cooked, and then
It's you mentioned your first line. We can share line stories. How did that feel?
It's totally
Because it's an experience.
It felt unreal. Like I was supposed to open, but I couldn't stop taking videos of the line, and I was like almost like I can't believe that this is happening right now, because it was also a long time since the last pop-up. I did not do any pop-ups during the pandemic, and I started this private dinner club thing, and then that was the first one. Lots of anticipation. I had pre-orders, but then I just did not expect that at all. I went there, and there was already people standing, and then I started setting up, and then by the time I was ready to serve, the line was wrapping around the building, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Like it almost made me cry. Like this was like it's a moment. It's a moment of reward. Like your hard work is paying off. People are recognizing, and people are coming back, and they're giving that love and appreciation, and then suddenly it hits you. Like all this hard work is finally paying off. It's a great moment.
Yeah.
You sold the first line.
How about you, my man? How was it?
Yeah.
He's my pitmaster.
No,
Everybody else.
I was gonna do my first official pop up, going from the underground to kind of the pop up. It was April 20th, 2020, and so it got canceled, and so I didn't do anything when the meat prices spiked, that early, June, July. I was like, I can't even cook and post anything on Instagram. I just can't afford it. Then August, meat prices started coming down, so I started an underground delivery and kind of built my name doing that from August to December. And then our friends at Pontoon gave me the opportunity. And great news that they're coming back, by the way. I just want to say, So they gave me the opportunity to do a pop-up, and they were like, okay, cool. And they're like, so we're also going to be doing this podcast that day, and we're doing a beer release, so I hope you're ready. And I go, oh, yeah, it's going to be nothing. So I cooked a bunch of food, showed up, and then I'm getting all set up, and I look up, and it's 45 people deep, and I'm going, what is going on? This is the first event I've ever done in public. And it we were sold out in an hour 45 minutes, and I was just like, what is... Yeah, and then, and then there was, it took a while. Every Pontoon one was always like that, though. Yeah. But, yeah, it was crazy.
No, it's beautiful. I remember.
I didn't even get any chance to do photos of the line because I just had to go.
I forgot. I think I came in for it because I think I was doing something in Nashville or something. I was like, no, I'm going. I got to, because I'd heard about Bryan for a while through our buddy Ted. And I tried, so I was like, heck, I was like, I'm a support.
So you guys haven't met yet?
No, we did, because I had come to one of his pop-ups.
We'd met, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's one of those where when I first had Bryan's sausage,
Sausage.
I was like, never, especially in our line of work.
You make a dish called big sausage, little sausage.
Little sausage. You're just asking for it. No, it was great. I used to do great stuff. Ted loves my sausage. It was great. My sausage was a mouth favorite across Georgia. And I had his. I was like, I stopped. I pulled it off the next day. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. This is stupid. So much better than mine. There was no reason. I have not made another one myself since. That's ridiculous. He's cranking it. It's so much better. He's a freaking Picasso with a meat grinder. I don't see any issue with being able to say yours is better, superior. Go here if you want it, whatever. But for my first line story was Creature Comforts. Gosh, so long
Say
ago.
the year.
16,
Wow.
16, 15, 16, yeah. And we had a friend of ours who was designing their beer cans, and yeah. And she was like, I think you should try to do something with these guys. I was like, I don't know. She's like, I'll set it up. You just do your thing. So she got me the time. I had this crazy buddy who, for some reason, has believed in all my wild ventures over the last decade plus years.
He doesn't operate a camera or anything.
Or sound equipment or anything like that.
He's not in
And
this room.
he's not in this room. She said, yeah, we went up there, and I'll never forget because it's a hazy, wet day. It's misty. We're filming. We're shooting. So we feed the staff first. And they're like, no, we'd love it. We got a thing happening in 3 weeks. You should come do it. It's like, okay, cool. I come back. It's one of the UGA games. The Bulldogs are playing in Athens. It's a big old thing. We're there early in the morning. Fire's rolling. I'm just doing my thing. It's my first one, and I've got my first brewery pop-up, real pop-up outside of just doing the chateaus. And I've got the whole menu rolling, and I'm just going I don't know. I was like, I'm just gonna try it, And I look up from cutting because my buddy taps me when I turn. He's like, she was like, what? I turn, and there's just this long line of people. I can't see the end of it. It's going out the entrance. And the owner comes up to me. He's like, what are you putting in this food? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, we do this. Normally, we've never had. He's like, we don't get this many people for beer releases. And I was just like, I think I got something. Now they're not all like that, but that was just one of those great, like, okay, I can do this type of thing. You know, I wish everybody who's rolling smoke in the backyard gets to experience their first line, because it's a hell of an experience, and it's just that thing that you look back on and you grow, because at that moment you're like, man, there's so many people. How am I going to cook for all these people? And then you grow and you grow and you realize, like, man, I'm cooking for far more, but you never forget your first line, man.
Now nobody
it's an
else
amazing experience. It really is.
I have a question.
Maybe Lee, he films
What
it.
do you think is the thing that makes like a backyard barbecuer like transition into what is something that you need, or where the barbecue is heading that would get you there as a backyard barbecuer?
I mean, it's so weird. Like, I've always done cooking, and everybody said I should get into cooking, but I kind of just avoided it because, like, I knew especially like in a normal restaurant, the kind of those hours and stuff, I never wanted to be a part of that. Like, yeah, you didn't want to come in at like 10 in the morning and be leaving at 2 in the morning. Like that's just not what I wanted. If you're lucky, yeah. But like the barbecue was always there, and then, you know, people egg you on. You're like, it's like you should serve this to other people, and then you try it, and people, like I said, the first people that buy it, they're like, okay, this is great. Yeah, I would buy. And then when they come back the second time, you're like, okay, maybe. Like it wasn't they were being nice to their face. There was a genuine thing behind their words. And then you're like, okay, well, can you do this? Like, and then it becomes almost like a challenge, I guess. It's like, can you do this? Like, can it be consistent? Like, and like, I remember the first time, like, I went to Texas and had, like, I thought it was like, oh, my brisket's really good. My brisket's really good. And then I walk into Pinkerton's and I was like, oh, I'm not there. like you have that first bite, you're like, oh, I got to get my shit up to par. Like, it's not there. And you're like, and then you're kind of like, okay, do you do it or not? Like, I guess it's a commitment thing. It's either, for me, I guess it's like, okay, you have to go all in or you don't do it. Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
Yeah. You can't burn this at both ends for long. You can try, but I think if you genuinely love it, whatever else you're doing just falls to the wayside, no matter what. Like, you can't. Like, it's just one of those. Like, I know one of the catalysts for me was I went to what was like the renowned barbecue spot, and I was like, what is this? And we'd eat, and I was like, what did we just pay for? Like, this can't be right. I was like, I'm not like world's best, but I'm better than this. And once again, you have that buddy that calls you and like, well, you can talk about it, or we can go to the store and go make some barbecue. And we got in my car and went to Home Depot and picked up some rigs and hobbled them all together, and you started going more. And I think it's once you realize, like, okay, you can tweak this and that it can be better, and there's so much to learn. And we all get that one phase where we think we've got it nailed packed, and you get humbled quick, and then you go and then you learn some more, and then you learn some more, and you just you build on it. You know, one of the things that always gets me, I'll get at least once a week a DM or email, man, I've nailed brisket. What's the next thing to do?
Not nailed brisket.
No one's nailed.
Yeah.
No, it's like no one's nailed. Aaron hasn't nailed brisket, and I always respond. I was like, how many of you made at a time? Oh, yeah, I just did 2 the other week, and I was like, cool. Yeah. Now go get a smoker and put 50 on, and when you're done doing 50, go get another smoker and put another 50 on there and do 100, and make them all taste the same. Then do that 6 days a week.
No. Yeah, no one's Terry Blacks, okay?
And then let me know. Yeah, and then let me know. Like, you know, the most I've done consistently is 50 briskets, and it takes, like, they're like, oh, it's like, no, it's a completely different math, completely different set, completely different work level to run 50, get them tasting right, be consistent. Anyone can hit a full court shot. If you give them enough time once. Doesn't mean you're LeBron or Jordan. Can you hit it every single time, 9 times out of 10? Can you do it no matter what the conditions are? Do you only cook when it's sunny and nice outside? Sir, you got to, it's 32 degrees outside. You got to go fire that rig up at 2 in the morning, you know, get that chill off your rig, then get it warm, then load up and cook for service. You've got to be able to do this no matter what. We were in freaking Portland earlier this year, And the night before, they're saying clear skies. We have to worry about weather. We're doing this event for like, I think it's 5,000 people. We had a private dinner for 12. We're like, all right, cool. Wake up. Pouring. Everything is soaked. Downpour. Everything is soaked. Like they're concerned, like, aren't you worried? I was like, no, because we cook 90% in this weather. Like, I know exactly what we have to do. Let's go to town. Let's not that. Yeah. And it was snowing. And you're like, yeah. And it was snowing. Yeah. And you're like, let's go. Let's put this together. Yeah. It was last year. It was snowing. It's 24 outside. We're in the backyard sipping whiskey. I'm making up a bunch of steaks and stuff because you have to practice. You have to practice. There have been. It would. Yeah. So we're like, all right, let's try it. We cooked. You got to practice. There's been numerous times I'll call Correy. It's like, hey, it's 3 a.m. and it's 17 degrees outside. We got to practice cooking. He's like, why? He's like, because we got to go to Colorado at the end of the year, and it's 17 degrees. We're going to be cooking at high altitudes, and this is as close as I'm going to be able to practice. You know, like you have to be obsessive about this. There's no way to do this there's no way to do this and be great without being obsessive. That's
Did you grow up eating
every time. No, just like you, because you said it, barbecue to you was grilling.
Yes.
You know, it's quick and it's fast. In Egypt, I grew up in Jamaica where it wasn't called barbecue; it was just dinner. You know, I learned from my grandfather, rest his soul, who taught me how to smoke and do indirect cooks. So he taught me how to do open fire cooks, like Dakota fires, and how the Tainos used to use pimento wood and trees and leaves to smoke and add flavors, and because he was a fisherman. That's how I learned, and I just built on that process. So as good as I am on a rig, I can get down with a shovel and a box of matches. You know, that's my wheelhouse. But direct, indirect. So anything I can. I've done wonder. We got stuck in Connecticut last year for 900 to 1,100 people. That we were supposed to have all this help. They gave us a folding table, a trash can, cutting board, and a shovel for me to feed all these people. And we just had a giant mound of rocks, had my matches. I got those rocks nice and warm. I built up my different heat zones, found some scrap metal, cobbled together some racks and rigs, and we were just turning out jerk, open fire ribeye with fire roasted clams, just right there. Because you can't, what am I going to do? Sit and pout? Oh, you guys don't have what you promised me? The people coming, they don't care. It's up to you. They're just going to look at you. Hey, I came here for an experience. I need that experience. All right, let's put on a show, no matter what.
Well, I
should probably get to a little bit of news,
You have a permanent pit now, but do you still have your first rig?
I do in Cairo.
Okay, you moved into Cairo.
If you consider like the rig as in like the first grill.
No, I was talking about the first rig you had in Texas that you were at Diaz Market.
So just like you, I have blessings from friends that help me out a lot.
Yeah.
So I have my dear friend Mike McChesney. He is someone that welcomed me with arms wide open when I moved to Texas, and I met him I was in this phase where I was just trying to absorb everything possible. So I saw a small competition in the parking lot of a church in downtown Austin. So I went there, and I had my camera on me, and I was just taking photos, talking to people. And then comes out the organizer of this competition. It's Mike, and I told him who I am and what I'm doing, and he was blown away that I'm just like an Egyptian dude walking around his Egyptian and like trying to learn barbecue. And he is not. He works in tech sales. This is like his thing. He loves Texas. He loves barbecue. So he just embraced me. Like that week, he took me on a history tour of Texas barbecue. He told me everything about barbecue, and I've been cooking on his smoker. All of the pop-ups, I didn't even have a truck. He would come and tow his smoker to me on the weekend, and I would cook in my house and then finish, and then he would help me move everything, and then after the pop-up's over, he would come back and tow the smoker back to his place. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So this is like the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
he still has his
You don't-
smoker,
yeah.
but on the other hand, I did. So the first smoker that I worked on was Curlin barbecue smoker. And when they closed and shut down, they called me. They said, "Oh, we're selling a bunch of stuff." And like, "Are you selling a smoker?" And she said, "Yes." So I bought it. So I have my Curlin's Pit smoker and the food truck. It's the first one that I ever own now.
Right.
And then I have Curlin's barbecue pit in my driveway. I'm gonna pimp it. I'm gonna make it really nice. It's gonna be my event pit. So I do have, I do own the one that I first booked on at Curlin Barbecue.
That's amazing.
Learned on. That's nice. So what size it was?
It's 500.
There's a 500,
The
1,000.
Curlin one is 500.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. And you said the guy's name was Mike Mexer?
Yeah.
Mike McChesney. Shout out to Mike, man. Shout out to the Mike and the Lees of the world, because you gotta have the crazy people because what we do does not make sense. You know, doesn't at all. We pick the absolute slowest way on the planet to
Cook the biggest, toughest,
It's the biggest,
requires
toughest thing,
it requires
and
the
it's
most
devoured
labor.
the fastest. Yeah, I don't think we could find if there's going to be a slow way to cook something, just ask the pit master. They're going to figure out a way to do it. Let me introduce you to the 72-hour chicken oven.
It's not right.
Cooked it in. I cooked it using the heat from the moon. The heat from the moon. Yeah, so I can only do it at night. It's reflecting into a mirror that's reflecting into another mirror, just eating the 72-hour
That
chicken
moon
wings.
cheese gonna be good, man.
Those moon wings, that's what it is. No, but that's man. Shout out to Mike. That's amazing. Like you're a Mike. For me, would be Brian Furman. When I first met B, he gifted me Pearl, my 500-gallon straight flow. He had just got her, hadn't even done anything more than a burnout in it. And he was like, "Serious? Just come get it." And it's just those type of moments. So Pearl is one of those rigs I'll never sell, but I'll only give away. Like go on to whoever the next person is. One day somebody's going to come knocking at my door wanting to learn how to do this thing, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I guess this is the right
Where is
person."
Pearl now? Is it?
And just keep it going. Pearl's in my backyard. Pearl gets greased and fired every 3 months. She doesn't get cooked on often, but I still oil her up
I know
and
who
get her
Pearl
all
should
set
go
up.
to. I know who Pearl should go to. I'll say after the show.
Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give him any hints. Yeah.
Okay. I'd be interested to know who Pearl should go.
You know it in the back of your head.
All right, we'll talk. We'll talk after. We'll talk family business after. Let's fly through a little bit of these touch points, and maybe you've got some news on there because you still have to regale us with your amazing
we could
stories
both
of
do it at the same
restaurant
time. When did the food truck fully open? At is it
October
Oswald?
2022.
Okay, so it's been a year and 2 months. Yeah.
Wildest year.
I mean, you want to do some news stories, and then we can do the back end of that of restaurant life or operation life, barbecue operation.
Let's do that. Let me get through this list here. Starting it off, we've got restaurateurs and cooks out here getting deals that envy athletes. You've got Guy Fieri, we're calling this section diners, drive-ins, and dollars, nailing this $100 million 3-year deal for Food Network. I'm expecting him to step on like a Lakers court with this type of a contract.
He's a Las Vegas
That's a
guy.
hell of
So
a
he's
contract
waiting on that
deal.
franchise.
He's waiting. $100 million for
For a
3
show or
years.
Well,
For
for all of
diners,
his
drive-in,
shows.
dives, yeah.
Yeah.
For all of his shows, yeah. So they're gonna pay him $100 million over 3 years to film Diners, Drive-In, Guy's Grocery, Worst Cook in America. I mean, just turn on Food Network. You can't flip it without seeing one of his shows on there. So.
Here's my question: is that contract his payout, or is that what their production company? That's very different.
Yeah, that's very true because
That's very different.
Yeah, that's very true because it is just like so. This is where I'm telling you guys: the money is not in front of the glass; it's behind it. Barbecue Brawl, the show you guys seem to love so much. is done by Rock Shrimp, which is Bobby Flay's production company, which also does Shocker Beat Bobby Flay, which is on season what did we call it last time? 38 or 58? It's some obscene number. It's up there. Well, it is great grandfathered, and but. It doesn't say, according to the news report released by People Magazine. Oh, it really would be. No, I think that's just for him.
I would say it has to be his production company. I mean, look, like they're gonna release it, like the press release, as it's him, and because they want to get the clicks. Yeah.
Yeah. It never know. All I know is, good on you, guy. Good on you. If you need somebody to sharpen the knives, you know what I will take your Hawaiian shirts for dry cleaning. there it is. Next up, we've got Holy Smokes 2024. Dates have been announced. November 9th. We're going to link Correy's recap video. He did a really touching recap video where Anthony, one of the founders of Holy Smokes, speaks on its importance and the good it does. And I just have to say, it's aside from Pitmaster Santa, it's one of the events I look forward to the absolute most every year because it's just so much good gets done in the community with it.
This is the Charleston Barbecue Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, it's held in Charleston. It's a combination of founders from Hometown Barbecue and Swig and Swine, and they raise funds. All the proceeds go to benefit like Ronald McDonald House and help cover costs and help improve living and life environments for children with pediatric cancer. So it's something we've been lucky to be a part of since day one, inception, and just going to keep doing it every year. I absolutely love it. Speaking on charitable givebacks, 1,000,001 thank yous to you, my friend, for opening up your doors and making some calls and getting a place for Pitmaster Santa to land this year. You knew I was in a rough spot after my grandfather passing. I just sort of needed to do this one more than any this year. And the turnout was
Someone donated a bike.
Someone donated a bike, a whole, skateboards, helmets. We've got everything from erector sets to Lego to there's everything was there. So many toys donated. My heart is full. I'm truly appreciative and humbled that so many came out in a further distance location.
Yeah.
Horrible weather, wind blowing sideways, still came out, packed the house out. We slang a ton of gumbo.
Yeah, we were out of wings and
a ton of
burgers
barbecue
by,
too.
I think 1:30.
So cool.
Yeah.
It was just a great time to see so many people come from all over, come from out of town, from Alabama, from the Carolinas to come and support. And it was actually my only event in Atlanta all year. So come hell or high water, you guys always
Did you get a count?
Pitmaster Santa will happen.
Okay.
I stopped after
This is something you do every year.
I stopped after 3.
Maybe 6.
Yeah, this was my 5th year doing it, maybe 6th, doing it, where I make a brisket gumbo. I give it away completely for free. I put on a huge wrapping paper suit, and the only way to get the gumbo is to donate at least 2 unwrapped toys. And we collect all the toys and we donate it to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, because every child that goes in for treatments leaves with a toy, but those toys depend strictly on donations. So we've been able to raise at least 90% of the toys over the last couple of years doing it. And it's one of my favorite things to do. Absolutely one of my favorite things. What's the point of this whole Z-level stardom if I can't raise some toys to bring some smiles?
Speaking of which, if any breweries want to donate, we're taking toy bids.
Yeah. Yeah, we're taking toy bids. So what happened was this was the first year we didn't do it at Pontoon. So after we held it, or when we announced that it was going to be a Reformation, a ton of other breweries reached out like, oh, we didn't know you would do it anywhere else. So Bryan and I decided we will do a toy bid auction. As a facility, we will bring the business to you because UC brings a lot of business. we'll bring it to you if you bid. So if you say, hey, our brewery will bid 25 toys guaranteed, or we'll bid 50 toys guaranteed, or 100 toys guaranteed, mind you, there's no cash. We don't take any money. These are all toys going towards an amazing cause. So the bids are open. Lock it in that we get the dates on there. But, yeah, start the bidding at 25 toys. Right here, 25 toys, ladies and gentlemen.
How much gumbo did you bring?
Well, it was a good time, man. 60 pounds of brisket, 30 pounds chicken, gallons of sauce. But it always starts with the same 3 cup of roux, and I use smoked herb smoked beef tallow for my roux.
Yeah.
That's the base. So this is not a vegan friendly dish, but just an obscene amount. Like a lot. And I only do it once a year because it takes me like 2-3 days to make the dish. So yeah, it's odd. I never make it any other time. Not just for price. It's only made once. That's it. And the secret ingredient is my own beer. Luckily, I still have some
Your own beer?
some bottles left that I can still. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
No, we have a beer, Tall, Dark, and Smoky. It's up until Pontoon closed, we were in 24 states, but now they're coming back. That's one of the first things we're gonna get right back on the roster and give the people what they want. Tall, Dark, and Smoky. They're coming back. Pontoon's back.
So our friends at Pontoon, they had a
coming
distribution
back.
deal, and for some reason that distribution company couldn't keep paying them on time. The problem, and also chose
not to.
But the problem with right now with small breweries is you can have a distribution deal, but you also have to have a shelving deal with different retailers.
Right.
So in order to keep the shelving deal with different retailers, you have to send out your beer through the distributions, whether they're paying you or not. So they fell behind on payments. They got set up on a payment plan. Then they just stopped payments. So they had been sending out a lot of product and not getting paid for it, because like the actual shelving deal doesn't actually account for the sales that the distributor were supposed to be buying. So they ran out of cash flow to be able to pay their employees. So instead of saying, hey, we're going to keep running until we can open back up and we just can't pay anybody, they said, hey, we got to shut down. It's not fair for us to use your labor when we can't work. And luckily they found someone, and they just announced that they're coming back, but they had to shut down for a couple months.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Same for now, yeah. So it's a good news. Good news.
Small craft brewery franchise laws are really weird.
It is, and let's go. Speaking of openings and opportunities, Swig and Swine is hiring. They're looking for some cats to help out in the future Moncks Corner Location, and they need a concessions manager at the Shipyard. And piggybacking on that, Auntie Delilah actually has a new location opening in Dunwoody. Oh yeah, I was happy. Yeah, Auntie Delilah's season 2. Yeah, she's got a second location opening up in Dunwoody. It's called the Politan Row at Ashford Lane. So that's opening up everyone's doing like a rendition.
Yeah,
of
that's the
works
second
or something,
Politan Row location because they opened in Colony Square too.
Yeah. So it's good to see them expanding. So if you're looking for a gig, now's a good time to apply to both. We'll have the links and what have yous in the show notes. There's a few more notes on here. If you're wanting to get on television, Ramsey's doing his food stars is back. So that's basically Sharks, but for the food world. If you've got an amazing food idea, you're looking for backing, apply, submit. This may work. Who knows? Read your contracts, ladies and gentlemen.
Read your contracts, exactly.
Read your contracts. That word
I don't know, man.
perpetuity is
Maybe
a
you could
bitch
sell
and a
that
half,
moon
so
chicken.
Read those contracts. Hear me out. Cook chicken using the moon. What? You've heard of moon pies? You've heard of moon landing. Let me introduce you to moon chicken. Shout out to Big Mo. He has his book releasing next year, and he's going to Abu Dhabi to go roast some smoke with Steve Harvey. They've got a fire festival occurring there February 24th and 25th, so If you can afford it, grab your plane tickets, your hotel reservations, and your tickets to attend. That sounds like it's going to be a good time. I know it's not going to be on the menu. And let's see what else we have on here.
Video came out.
Yeah.
A lot of the comments said it was
Yeah. Yeah, because of the beard.
That's share it, 'cause, like, yeah,
You should go with Steve Harvey for
And Steve Harvey
for
should go as
Halloween.
you for Halloween.
You should do a family feud night for Halloween next year. We sell this item on our menu more than anything. What is brisket? Show me brisket. I'd love it. I love it.
Now I need you on the Family Feud.
Now we got to do it. Everyone's got a celebrity twin. And a little touch point before the crazy news I want us all to talk about, because that's just weird. Super Bowl is going to be in Los Angeles, 2027. Start saving now, because I promise you, you're going to need every penny for that. That's just going to be expensive. And then a good note: if you have property out there in that area, hopefully you can put it on Airbnb before they make it all collapse and no one can use Airbnb for rentals anymore. But this story here got me and threw me off, and I really wish companies would just stop doing this, because it's starting to get annoying now. What do you think of 3D printed meat? I will explain. There's a company in Israel called Redefine Meat, and they are 3D printing meat. They're taking like Impossible meat and stuff, and they're putting the ingredients and such into a 3D printer, and they're printing items that look like steak, that look like flank, but it's 3D printed out using those ingredients, and it supposedly cuts and has a better texture than what they do with Impossible stuff, where they just force it into a mold. They're layering it out, and I'm just like,
you can eat.
I mean, someone's eating it. I'm not eating it. But yeah, you're supposed to be able to consume this 3D printed meat that is not actually meat. It is soy-based products and leafy greens dyed in which ways, and beet juice to look and appear like meat. And yeah, just why? Why can't you just make a salad? Why can't you just start a salad company instead? If you don't want people eating meat, why not just do that? Why are we doing? Get futuristic on it. Make it an MRE, sell it to the military. Stop trying to get me to buy it at the local store. But that's their whole goal, is to redefine the meat experience, the non-meat eating experience.
Yeah, but this printer is using ingredients. It's using food.
Yeah. It's using soy-based products to generate and map something that looks like meat.
Knowing how those printers work.
Yeah, I don't.
Knowing how those printers work, I'm sure you have some sort of compound that goes down into. I mean, the way 3D printers work is it's almost. The way 3D printers work is it's almost like a thread that it melts down, like a thick piece of thread that it melts down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be interested to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be interested.
How do you clean that?
Is it already?
I don't know.
Yeah, but sometimes it's raw, so it would have to be cooked. So that's why I'm asking how fast it is, and then how do you clean that to make it safe for the next batch? Because the food stuff can't sit in the system.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just always have to go, and so I'll show. So this is, I'll show you. This is their image. It looks horrible. Like that's supposed to be the steak.
Whoever is designing that doesn't know how it is.
Oh, hey, what is?
They've never
Hey,
looked
what
at an actual piece of meat
were
in
the
their life.
knockoff Legos that were just bigger? like the Playmobil. That looks like a Playmobil steak.
They were Eggos, and underneath would say "not the breakfast sandwich." This is just bad. Like I'm at this point, I'm just like, why? We've done test tube tenders. They got 3D printed steaks. Like, what are we going on here? What's happening? Let's just.
To your point,
Yeah. Just do tofu.
Why? Just make salads. The building the factory's on, turn it into a garden, a sustainable garden. Do that. Crazy idea. You get the same effect. But I don't know what this. I don't know. I don't know. You see what these vegans are doing, man? They're just making it hard for everybody. Like, what did the pigs ever do to you? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, who hurt you? Like, who slapped you with a piece of meat at some point in your life? And you're just like, never again do I want anyone to experience what I've gone through. Oh gosh, but yeah, that is the tail end of the ridiculousness
So this is not available
3D printed meat.
It is. You can buy this.
No, it is. It is available. You can spend your money. We'll put more in the show notes, but yeah.
Can you reverse Sierra?
It's just awesome. I can't believe it's not brisket. I don't know what you could do with this. I really don't know.
Here's a thought though, if like that outer layer does have a little bit, maybe that outer layer does have a little bit more fat than I think here on it.
Well, I mean, okay, so it's
Technically,
weird because
yeah.
like the Impossible Burger patties, the whole thing was like, oh, you could have this medium rare, and like it has like a yeah, like it looks like a
really?
medium rare burger. But like if you look at the package, they tell you to cook it to 160. Like so, like it defeats all purpose of this thing
Yeah.
that's supposed to have the texture and the look of a medium rare burger.
But what is wrong in it?
I-
Why do you have to cook it?
No,
If it's
just
vegetables,
because it's
what do you-
packaged,
what do you cook it
so it's like for
Yeah,
food
yeah.
safety, they have to say you have to cook it to 160.
It's also
Yeah, because
crammed
like,
full of
hey, would you
sodium,
cook
like
would you cook
would
a chicken breast to 160? Would you cook it like if you cook it to 160, it's just yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like the
But
same with black turkey. It's the
Right,
same.
you got to let that carryover heat do
I mean,
it.
you're
Yeah.
supposed. Yeah.
Carryover heat is a thing in
I
meat.
think you guys should get one
I don't know if it works for a frog.
ribeye next time on the show,
you should.
And just eat it.
Here's the thing.
and I'll hear it.
I think my brand partners would. I feel like
Hey,
that may
now you
voice
should do,
something. I
cook
don't
it side
know.
by side. And
That's
serve it
just
for you
horrible.
and see if you can tell the difference.
Do
No, that's
blind
not a bad
tasting.
idea. It's not a bad idea. I won't tell him. I'm like, hey, man. I won't tell him. I'm like, hey man, I need you. I'm gonna do what Google does. Like, hey, I need you to do a little blind taste test. Let's try this.
Just
or hit you like
just
pops.
tell,
Let's try this.
Hey,
Just
actually, what you say is like the 3D printed steak is the steak he can't eat, so he'll eat it first.
yeah. Have this. Fegu, just try it. You know, if you like, nah, why does it taste funny? I don't know. It's simple.
I appreciate it.
Oh, see, you appreciate that dessert, man. I appreciate that dessert, man. I appreciate that extra dessert. It was delicious, sweet, very filling. You know, the one that Correy didn't get to have.
What we did? Yeah. Oh, I don't remember.
I can't have nothing myself. This is bullshit.
Well, it was the banana pudding though, right? Oh, okay. Then you didn't get the other one. So.
Oh yeah.
I tried to hand
you
it
could
to
have that.
Split, and then
Because I know how he was going to act out and show out. So
it
get
was a
mine.
caramel apple fritter bread pudding.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was a delicious, a fantastic, a flavorful, rich, decadent caramel.
It's like, whatever.
Do you want some? Do you want some better news? Okay. Well,
I'm
so
always, man. What's going on?
Eater released their best restaurants 2023, and Barb's BQ got on it.
Barb's really?
Yeah. So
Barbs, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good on them. Good on them. You know, be hitting the road, be shooting over to Texas in a couple of weeks here, and gonna try to stop through. Seems like I'll be more in the Houston, Dallas side, but if I leave early enough,
Well, what's your plan?
I'm gonna go all over. I'm teaching at Blue Smoke Blair's Barbecue School, I believe on the 20th. And then she wants to do like a brunch thing with all the cooks on Sunday. So doing that, I'm grabbing dinner with Don
Yes.
from Koi. Shout out to Koi Barbecue on Thursday. Happy early birthday to Mama Don, because her birthday is that Wednesday. I think I got like little meetings along the way, but we're just driving, man. Just driving and cruising, seeing it all, taking what we can take in. Got 7 days there, but that's enough to get me to like
Not
a
even.
third of Texas.
not even.
Not even.
The first time I rode into
Yeah, I
Texas,
know.
I remember seeing the sign for you coming through like on that Montgomery side, like through Louisiana, and the first sign you see is the first sign you see
place to
is
Louisiana.
800 miles to another part of Texas.
Oh my gosh, you shouldn't be able to drive all day and still be in Texas.
Austin's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right in the center. like taking road trips out of Texas. It's like the longest part of the road trip is just leaving Texas.
Yeah, because we're gonna come up through gonna stop off and see the sisters. Because Lord help me, if I don't. And then the finalizing everything is in Houston. So I'm like, all right, let me leave. I may leave an extra day or two early to loop through Austin and come back around. Got gas to burn, nice tires now. So
Yeah, you should
gonna
definitely
make it
come
happen.
soon, if you have the time.
Definitely, my friend. Absolutely. So Bryan, you've been gone for a while.
Yeah.
You wanna share some of your amazing exploits of the restaurant owner life?
Okay,
now?
so you're also open 4 days a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like open the same.
Yeah, the same days.
Thursday,
Yeah.
Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah. So what are your? Do you get Monday through Wednesday off?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
The only night that I really don't do anything is Sunday night.
Right. Yeah. Sunday is
After
kind of
work. I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
that's it. I'm not gonna think or look at anything that has to do with work. But Monday is my office day, and Tuesday is like first the deliveries, organization. We start curing, grinding sausage, and then Wednesday trimming all meats, doing all prep, and then Thursday all meat.
How many people do you have helping you? Like when you first opened, how many people did you have?
When we first opened, I was at 5 people.
Like total. Okay. Yeah. That's
Now we're 15.
okay. Yeah, we're at that 4 stage right now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Albuquerque, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You'll get there soon.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're on the.
We're on the
same-
trajectory. Yeah. But
You're
yeah.
on the-
Yeah. But
Better
yes.
hold on. Hold on to your pants.
Yeah. I mean, so, and especially we were in between distributors for like getting shipments in. So we won't name the company. We were moving away from a company. We were waiting on another company. And so I was that first, basically 6 weeks, I was running around the first part of the week and getting everything. Yeah.
Buying everything.
Yeah. Like going to, like, so if one restaurant depot didn't have enough, I'd have to go to the next restaurant depot. If one Sam's didn't have it, I put in, an order of 4 cases of brisket at Sam's, and you'd show up and they would load you up too, and you go, where are the rest of my briskets gonna come from? You would make multiple trips to the same ones. Like, did you get another shipment in? Can you that kind of thing?
Did you still go to any retail? Like,
I tried to avoid it. I tried to we do have to go to retail for certain things. Honestly, especially since we don't make we're not huge in what we do yet, so we may make like 40 to 50 banana puddings a week, so it doesn't make sense for us to buy a case of bananas.
Sure.
Yeah, so like going to Publix and just like, oh, here are all the bananas that everybody peeled off that they didn't want. This is perfectly ripe to make banana pudding. I can load up on that. Yeah, that kind of thing. But mostly I was hitting, you're going to go to some of the farmers markets today, right?
Yes.
And, yeah, the Atlanta farmers markets. So I would hit up Buford Highway or Nom de Moon, these farmers markets that specialize in a lot of produce at better prices. So getting all my Kirby pickles for pickles, all my jalapenos and Fresno chilies for the pickled jalapenos, that kind of stuff. I would get those at farmers markets. And then squeeze in sausage prep and the sausage prep takes way longer than you expect, and you end up with way more dishes than you expect. Yeah.
you don't have a dishwasher?
Yeah, and you don't have you don't have a dishwasher. Yeah. How many sausages do you make a week? Or in terms of different recipes?
Right now we are making 30 kilograms and 30 kilograms, so 60 kilograms a week.
Of each, do you have 2 sausages?
We have a kofta, which is uncased sausage,
Okay.
like skewers, and then we have cased pork,
Okay.
Mediterranean sausage. 30 is maybe 70 pounds. 30 is maybe 40 pounds a week.
That's insane.
Yeah, we started with 10-pound recipes a week.
Yeah.
10 of each. So we went up from 20 pounds a week to
Yeah, we're right now we're at the kind of in the 30 to 45 pound range. It depends on how much trim we have And so I usually do about 3 recipes a week.
Okay.
Yeah, and all of them are case. So we have our 2 house sausages that we have all the time, and then I have a rotating special every week. So, like, trying to figure out what we're doing for that, too. Like,
Your sausage looks great.
no, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Is it the big or the big?
Yeah, no.
It's cold out, so
Where
you
do
know.
you think the little one came from?
It's seasonal.
It's a seasonal sausage.
Lee's just rolling.
It's a very above average
Lee's eyes
sausage.
can't roll back far enough into his head right now.
I'm so sorry, bro.
No, but for real.
I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate
Where
it.
did you get? Did you get some training? Or
Yeah, so I went and took Goldie's class back in 2019. So it was when Dylan Taylor was still there, and then
Shout out to the
Lane
guys at Goldie's.
was there that day, and then Jalen kind of popped his head in. So I learned from those guys, and we talked about it. It's like I go once a year and kind of like do a refresher course with them and stage for a week, and they're cool to have me in the building and put up with me and all that. Yeah, and so like then I formed friends with Tyler Hodge in Hoodoo Brown, Connecticut, and we bounce out Sausage King of Connecticut.
Sausage King of Connecticut.
Right,
You gotta say,
which
you gotta say the whole
he
thing.
did
like a
not
pimp
christen
named
that name
Flipper.
on himself. Other people did, so let's like,
I'm aware.
yeah.
That's how you get a moniker. You don't name
Yeah.
yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't name yourself.
Even though
just be putting
a
King
certain
on
article
the
says
same
that he named himself that, he did not. So we bounce ideas off probably like once a week to twice a week. Like he'll tell me what he's doing and like what he's going through, and I'll throw some ideas out at him. And then Lane will text me a recipe every now and then, asking what I think. He texted me. It's funny. He texted me a recipe 30 minutes before we started service on Thursday, and I go, I'll respond to that eventually. And 3 days later, I forgot to respond. He just was like, I guess you don't like it. Yeah. No.
How did you
so
know?
like, and I think, yeah, I still say Lane and Jalen are 2 of the smartest guys in barbecue, and kind of like them getting the salt ratio up and stuff. And like once you have like kind of that base thing, it's really easy to kind of to play with. And like once you know like what certain spices kind of like the measurements of those, you can be like, okay, well, I'm adding this much marjoram, like Mexican oregano is going to be a pretty strong spice too, so I probably need to keep it in the same weight range.
I love marjoram.
Yeah.
Sausage too, yeah.
Everyone sleeps on
Well, I
Mexican
mean, dude,
oregano or
there's like
sausage. I'm like, you guys are missing
a bunch of different oreganos. I've used regular oregano, Mexican oregano, Sicilian oregano, Calabrian oregano.
There's Greek.
Yeah, there's Greek oregano.
Haven't tried
Okay, yeah.
Calabrian. There's Jamaican oregano. But you gotta smoke it.
Yeah. No, it. I can't put that
This one is not for your sausage.
I think I got to clarify some butter with that one before I can add it to a recipe.
Hey, as long as it gets in there, man, it's in there. It's gonna be a hit.
Yeah, like
gonna
so. That's kind of where like having that kind of base system of like guys you can bounce ideas off of, that helps a ton. And like Tyler like is way more creative than I am. The stuff he comes up with, like he did that Mexican hot chocolate with marshmallows in it this past week, channeling his inner Bill Dumas on the craziness right there. But like what he found was like. So what do you think the melt point of a marshmallow is?
I think it's actually higher than you would expect. I'm thinking s'mores like 225.
Way lower.
No, lower.
112.
How low?
Yeah, a marshmallow will start melting
Really?
at 112.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we were roasting marshmallows.
Well, I
in
mean,
Charleston
but you got to
for
think like
Edley's gigs.
those
I
are like
thought it
big.
was-
Like he's putting like mini marshmallow. Yeah.
It's like Texas.
minis. Okay.
Yeah. Like if you
Yeah,
left
it's
the
a
if you left
breezy
the pack of
Tuesday
marshmallows
afternoon.
out in August, you'll come back and you'll just have an empty bag. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So my question: you guys have your brick and mortars. I'm helping others open theirs. Since the doors have opened, what has been the most challenging aspect thus far?
For me, I would probably say staffing and And I'll probably say staffing is the biggest challenge.
B told me that. B told me that years ago. He said, when you get into it, the hardest thing you're going to have to deal with is
Having the right,
is the people.
finding,
Is like getting a good staff.
maintaining the right people. And you have to do a lot of work for them. You have
Yeah.
to really take care of them. And this is one of the things I was really excited about. Manage people. Because I worked in corporate finance. I've never got a managerial job. I only was a senior financial analyst. So I've never managed people. And then I left that and I started working in kitchens. The highest I've ever gotten in the kitchen was a line cook. You know, like I've never gotten anywhere in any of my jobs. So I've never managed people before. So the team that I have now is my first. Like the team that I'm managing for the first time is my own, and I was really excited for that. And having experience working with in the corporate world and then in the barbecue and the food industry, I saw how people treat others, especially in the kitchens, and it just doesn't work. You know, like I've seen the amount of turnover chefs and restaurant owners have. Even if you have a great concept, these people struggle every day. Without mentioning names, people I've worked for, they have tremendous turnover, and I can only imagine how miserable their life can be, because they have to go back every day. They have to. The people leave, and they have to go back and do the same thing every day. So to me, the biggest challenge is finding those people that care, and those people that have passion for what they do and have pride in what they do, and then keeping them.
Yeah. That's it is, because no one's going to work as hard as you for your business, and I think showing appreciation is drastically underrated. You know, it's like, yeah, you showed up for your job, I'm paying you to be here, but I still just appreciate you for being on time, you know, giving your effort, you know. You saw something needed to be done and you did it without someone having to tell you to do it. Like those things, those are the things that sort of breathe life back into the employees, so they're like, oh,
Yes.
I want to stay here. I want to be around this more. Like this isn't just a job, it's a place that I enjoy, and if they're smart, they're learning too. They're learning a lot, you know, because not every business they work for gets featured as the rising star and gets these amazing accolades and opportunities. Like it's a great time to be a fly on the wall at those type of establishments.
Yeah, I mean, I would
Brian.
heart
What about
that
you?
100%. Like, and then budgeting. That's something like yeah, like running a pop up is very different than running a restaurant. Yeah, like, you know, because like I kind of like when you're a pop up, you're like, okay, I made this much. That means I can cook this much more next week. Where we're like running a restaurant, it's like, oh, I sold this much this week. That's probably what I'm gonna sell next week. But in case we need to sell more, we kind of need to have more. Like, you know, and also like it's weird with like pop up, since you're kind of a special thing, you're not there every week or you're not there every day. People don't take it for granted as much. Like, so
Yeah.
one thing I've noticed is when the weather's bad, less people go to a restaurant. You would think it's like, we're indoors. Like you don't have that luxury. Yeah.
That's right, because even way worse.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah, we're indoors, and people will like, oh, it's raining outside or it's cold. I'm gonna stay home. Like, I'm not gonna come. Yeah. So like, and then like, so this week, I don't know. Texas has a very different culture with barbecue than here, and so people consider barbecue more of a restaurant. I kind of consider barbecue kind of its own thing. And it's based on like how restaurants are set up here. Like every barbecue restaurant is set up as a restaurant, where barbecue in Texas is set up as like a meat counter kind of traditional service.
Yes.
So it's a different. You're right.
Yes.
Slice,
So
butter,
yeah.
yeah.
So have you been slower because of Christmas shopping and everything, or?
No, actually, holidays are good.
Or holidays are-
decent.
yeah.
Decent. I mean, after the holidays, when it drops.
Okay. Okay.
But holiday seasons are. I've gone back and forth on opening versus closing. I've done like large pickup orders only sometimes.
Yeah.
But the holiday season is good business.
Like the brewery you're connected to, where is it? Like, are you in a shopping area or is it kind of out of the way?
Out, it's in the street.
Okay.
It's in a great neighborhood. In Mueller. It's out. It's standalone though. Like it's in the street.
Okay. All right, yeah. So where we are, you kind of have to drive down and kind of go down a different road to kind of get there, and it's like, it's all kind of like construction and industrial parks, and then you kind of get to an apartment complex and some housing and stuff, and then we're connected kind of like in a live workspace. So like,
Is there other shops or restaurants?
there's a coffee shop, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're kind of like connecting two major roads, but you kind of have to turn down this one road to kind of get down it.
Okay.
And there's
So
nothing.
not a
in
lot
bet-
of traffic.
Yeah, not a lot of traffic.
traffic.
Yeah, no, like it's just whoever's driving down there to like get through, or like, yeah. So like, even though we had good weather, we're not near any shopping. You're not going to go down this road to get to the stores. So like, people doing their shopping last, we were just slower like last Saturday, but we cooked because we projected on good weather that we'd have like, oh yeah, more people will be out. We're good, but like we ended up selling less. And you're kind of like, okay, well now what do we do with this? I mean, being in a restaurant though, it gives you the ability to figure out what to do with it. Where when you're a pop up, if you're left with stuff,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Gotta chuck it.
yeah.
Gotta chuck it. You're stuck. So there's a lot of it like you said, it forces that level of creativity to try to make sure you mitigate your waste and your costs, because that can be very, very detrimental. I was listening to this podcast. This guy was just talking about just the effects of having people cancel their reservations the day of. You know, like if you book it, that's no one else can get in that spot, and then you cancel your reservation an hour before, 15 minutes before. It's lost. That there's that income is just gone now. What are we supposed to do with it? And I definitely feel that. I feel those type of challenges. So you said the staffing for both, the forecasting, the budgeting for both. What's been like the highlight thus far?
Highlight of the business
for you.
The highlight of I mean, I'll probably say, I would say it's the what I like to call the good old boys. The people that like barbecue in that certain way. Because, barbecue is heading to a whole different direction now. And there's a lot of,
We talked about it. There's a renaissance happening, and I feel like it's going to be,
and
they're going to blow the
like you were
doors
talking
off
about
it in 2024.
Lamb getting more popular, just give that 5 more years. And you'll see how lamb is becoming a crucial part of barbecue soon. So, I have a client base, and I have people that come through almost on a weekly basis. And then you have all these people that are adventurous eaters, and they want to try new things. But then you have that culture. I mean, this is a tradition that's very old, and people are used to eating barbecue in certain ways. They come to you, you sell brisket, then I expect my brisket to look this way, and I expect white bread on the side, some pickles and onions, and a little bit of sauce, or no sauce, whatever. So I get these people that come through, and especially because I'm in that neighborhood. Like, I'm in a neighborhood that's recently gentrified, and there is a black-owned Sam's Barbecue, black-owned, very old place that, again, serves that same exact traditional barbecue. So I get these people that come through and ask, well, give me a brisket sandwich. And I was like, okay, well, I have a brisket sandwich, but it's not what you expect. Pita bread, there's a fresh salad, there's tahini sauce, so it's not really what you're expecting. He's like, what are you talking about? I just want, he was like, well, just give me half pound of brisket. So these are the people that come through that I really go out of my way and spend some time to make sure that I give them a different, I'm obviously giving them a different experience, but I want them to appreciate it. Yeah,
You're educating
exactly.
them. You're taking
So
that time to let them know.
I take the time and I give them the sliced brisket the way they expect it. I give them my pickled onions, sumac, pickled onion, but again, that's what I really do. My pickles and everything, and the sauce on the side. I toast the bread, I cut it up, and I put it on the side, bag it up, and give it to them, and then just creepily watch them eat it,
Just walking this thing down. Don't mind me.
And then I just, it has ranged from people opening the tray and just taking a look at it. Okay, just put it back and then leave, and other people that take a bite and they really like it, and then these people come back. Like, this to me is like one of the highlights. The people that love barbecue traditionally in that certain way have certain expectations, and I'm doing and I'm here doing like something that's totally different, and I'm still able to cater and satisfy this traditional need and desire. This to me is like a win.
It's great when you can take something they're so used to having in X, Y, and Z way, and you put your own twist on it, and they still respect it, appreciate it, and they want more. They're like, wow, I didn't know this thing I love so much. I can love it in another way, and with these profiles. And we did a pod right after Holy Smoke, because I got to finally meet Don in person and meet Hector and Ruben of Bark and Palmera, and we got to talk, and we were just having fun. Like their approach, their flavors, their aromas of while they were cooking their hog just smelled familiar to me, because I knew what those things were, but you could tell a lot of the passerbys were like, what is that? Like they hadn't smelled those. They hadn't seen like a sazon, a sofrito drenched whole hog with those flavors and marinades before. You know, you go out there, 98% of the hogs on there salt until it's time to mop, you know? And they called it the Sazon era. You know, it's the era of flavors era. It's a new renaissance happening with this. And Don and I are planning on doing an event together down in Texas. We're doing a 50-50 hog. He does his Vite flavors. I do my Caribbean side on one, and we're going to have a ball with it. But I love these new tones and aromas and seasonings. And they're not new. Yeah. They're not new to you. They're not new to me, but they're going to be new to the masses my goal, I would love, like, someone's going out to the grocery store, they're walking past the aisle. It's going to catch their eye and be like, you know what? Let me just grab it. Let me give it a shot, because I saw so and so do it. You know, let me see what I can make happen with that. Just open them up to it a little bit, or when they've gone to your pop-up and they've tried it and they're like, what is it? And you tell them, like, no, let me keep an eye out for that. You know, let's try these new flavors different ways. Yes. There's 1,000,001 ways to do all this. You can put us all in a room to cook a brisket or a hog or a dish or lamb, and they'll all come out different. You know, I tried my best this year to push lamb at all the events we did. I did my first festival this year, my own one, Grill and Chill. We did 2 whole lambs, open fire roasted lamb. Did a hot curry lamb, did a jerk lamb, and everyone loved it. It's like, thank you. Yeah. Go get more lamb. It's out there. It's a delicious meat. You know, we did it in Connecticut. We did it in Portland. We did it in D.C. Just try it. I wish lamb got more love.
In Texas.
I really do. Yeah. Well, the Grill Show was in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And Corsicana. It was in Corsicana, Texas, and we're doing it again next year. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for the dates and the announcements. We got some big news, some heavy hitters coming through for Grill and Chill. So it's going to be a wild time, man. It's going to be a wild time.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this thing.
Play with fire.
Like how you can be the greatest chef in the world, but like you will never stop learning. If you're humble and like I was in this restaurant last night, and we had Persian food. Everything is cooked on a charcoal grill. They have a pretty big menu, but the selections are simple. And then they have different varieties of rice. And one of the rice is cooked with candied orange peel. That rice was one of the best, and I love rice. Like, rice is my favorite carb. And that was one of the best rices I have ever tasted. Like, the rice was the best thing I ate last night. It's basically orange peels in sugar water.
Yeah.
And then you take those and you fold them in the rice. And then you cook the rice in a little bit of the water. Orange peel, sugar water. Man, that was amazing. And then it got me thinking into it's an infinite possible outcomes. Take all the ingredients that we have and the different combinations of flavor that you can create. It's infinite.
I'll never forget, we had a pop-up 2 years ago or so. Little Kira was there and her mom was there, and we were doing oxtail and some jerk dishes. And we had the rice as a side, like you could add right then to come with it. And the lady's like, you charging for rice? And Little Kira is my biggest supporter in the world, little sweetheart. She's there helping me behind the register. She's like, you must need because it's not just regular rice. Because I think most people don't know there's more than one grain of rice. parboiled, short grain, long grain, Thai basil, jasmine. It just goes on and on and on. Black rice, native, wild rice. And that's just cooking them base, not to mention what you can do with the waters or the flavors that you put in there, the herbs. There's countless ways to make rice more than rice. And layers. I think that's the biggest thing that cultures outside of the States do is we cook in layers. Everything gets something at one phase or another. After you wash your rice, you're going to put a bay leaf or a rosemary stem or garlic in or something in there. All right, now that's one part of the dish. So even after you pour your gravy that has additional flavor, then your meat that has additional flavor, the vessel has something there too.
Aromatics, yeah. In Egypt, we have this rice dish in the country that is buffalo ghee, stock, and milk. It's baked stock and milk. So it's short. Egyptian rice is short grain. So you get the rice, you rub it in salt, black pepper. It's heavy on black pepper. And you also rub it in cream, like clotted cream, which is something you don't find here.
Okay.
Cream fresh is close, mascarpone.
Yeah.
And then you just pour hot stock and milk and bake the thing. It's so rich. You take the thing, flip it out. Beautiful golden brown brick of rice. Yes,
Do you guys fight for the crust?
You know what
I do. My grandma will drop kick you for the crust. For the crust on some rice. I already know. Like, I know where I'm going first, and that's how you can tell. Like, I know where you're from. You're not from around here. You knew exactly where to go. Because everyone's trying to brush it up. No, let me get that piece right there. Let me get that center part or right on that edge, because that center's where that heat hits. Peels off like a little rice cake almost. Just. That's good stuff. That's the good stuff, man. But brother, I appreciate you being here. Can you tell the people where to find you, how to support you, things of that nature, so they can keep up with you and all the amazing delicacies that you're creating out there in Austin?
Thanks for having me here. It's such a pleasure. Well, you can find me in Austin, Texas. I have a food truck located in a brewery. The brewery is called Oddwood Brewing. My food truck is called KG Barbecue. You can find me on Instagram. And TikTok, I'm trying to get into TikTok too. I'm trying to be like the cool kids,
I don't even TikTok.
I know. I feel old.
I ticked once and then I had to lay down for a while.
So yeah, you can find me on. I have some upcoming events this year. We're gonna be in Miami in February for Graduation Eats Festival.
Nice.
This is really the one thing that's, and of course Texas Monthly, Potluck. We usually do those two in Austin. My plan in 2024 is to move into brick and mortar. Hopefully, this is going to be my plan. There's a lot of big things that happen this year, and every time something happens, we just get tighter and tighter, and that food truck is getting smaller. So I want to do this for my team and just give them some breathing space and some comfort, so we don't have to be shuffling so much in storage unit, commissary kitchen. We have so much to jiggle right now. Yeah, so my goal is to hopefully move to brick and mortar in the same area. But yeah, you can show me the love, show me the support. Come see me, come say hi. You'll always find me on the window. Yeah.
I'll be at Owens and Hull for the foreseeable future. I mean, appreciate it.
Congratulations on that, my man.
I was telling Kareem, like, it's the thing you don't see is the 5 years or however many years of work before you get to that point. Yeah, before that line. Before that line. There's the years of what you put into it, and so it's been fun to kind of see that come to fruition and getting the opportunity to do that, and so I'll be there 4 days a week. We hopefully have some stuff coming up, but like right now the focus is just the restaurant space, and then the occasional random collab pop up every now and then. Yeah.
Are you thinking of opening more days or no?
No, I mean, so right now we're thinking of expanding Thursdays to include lunch. Right now we only do a Thursday dinner service.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with that, and then maybe we do a Wednesday too, but no more than that. Yeah. But first, I think the first of the year we'll be open from we'll open 11:30 on Thursdays instead of 5. So
Do you get more business for dinner?
yeah, generally that kind of area, a lot of business for dinner, a lot of takeout.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is the barbecue scene here?
No, it's
We're working
like
on it.
until recently it's very restaurant focused.
Because a lot of us have left the circuit.
Well, no, I'm just talking
you're
about
off
like
now. I've
barbecue
been
in
off for
general.
years.
You go to a restaurant, you sit down at a table, you have a waiter come up and take your order, and it's a very restaurant experience. Like really, the only place that I could think of before Fox Brothers opened their meat counter Brookhaven thing. Fat Mats, you would go up to the counter, order your ribs, go sit down, then they would bring you your ribs. And that was more of, they even consider us, we're not barbecue, we're a rib shack. Like, we boil and grill our ribs. Yeah. They're delicious. I would eat, like, but they don't consider themselves barbecue. Yeah. Like, they know where they,
Said boil,
yeah.
grill,
It sounds crazy. They're delicious ribs. Like, yeah, they have it down to a science. They know what they're doing. But yeah, like, yeah, it's a restaurant. Like it's like now the old school joints are very counter focused, but they're not really in Atlanta anymore. The only one I can think of is, and people might kill me for saying it because they don't want people to know about it, but Wyatt's on Memorial. Yeah, that's really the only place that you go up to a counter, order, and they bring it. Everything else is wait staff kind of bring it to you. Like the old school joints, you have to kind of drive out of Atlanta for. Yeah, like the old school joints that are still cooking, like pit barbecue, like the unseasoned hams. Yeah, like that kind of style. And then, yeah, I mean, I think I told you this last night, but like we still have people come up and they go, yeah, I just want some barbecue. That's how they order. And like, and if they, and
Yeah.
and
You got to know what that means.
yeah, and that's just in Georgia. They want pork. Like that's if they say I want some barbecue, they want pork.
Some barbecue?
Yeah.
Trust me, they'll let you know when they want brisket.
Yeah.
They do. But no, brother, I dig it. It's good to have you back. We'll have you back a bit more, but we understand you're out there feeding the many mouths of Georgia, slinging your sausage from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Just the lower West Side Georgia right now.
Still there, man. But I appreciate you being here. And as always, guys, this has been This Week in Barbecue, the barbecue-focused podcast that brings you both the good, the bad, and everything in between. And with a barbecue, I've been your host, Rasheed Philips, and back again, and hopefully not
Bryan Hull.
for the last time, Mr. And the face you don't see today, but you've been seeing it a lot lately. And our amazing guest, brother, thank you so much for coming in. It's been a blast. Tell a friend to tell two friends, and happy holidays. Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Happy Christmas, Merry Holiday, or Merry New Year.
What, Friendsimus, or whatever it is, George Costanza came up
Festivus. Festivus for the rest of us.
Happy Festivus, everybody. Festivus for the rest of us.
And we're out.